Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Weather changes on the way as the summer season nears its end. When can San Antonio expect a cold front to arrive? We'll check in with meteorologist Adam Caskey for an update, but first.
To the border tonight, more migrants removed from the encampment in Del Rio, some crossing back into Mexico to seek asylum there. Tonight, we've learned that 6,000 more people have been cleared and either relocated or sent back to Haiti. The rapid removal made possible because of a measure adopted by former President Donald Trump to expel migrants immediately during the pandemic without an opportunity to seek asylum. President Joe Biden exempted unaccompanied children from that order, but let the rest stand. Haiti's migration director expecting several more flights to land there tomorrow.
Homeland Security and Border Patrol expected to look into agents on horseback apparently pushing migrants back. Some believed they were using whips, but when asked about the video, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said agents used long reins, not whips, to control their horses. Border Patrol said they would investigate to make sure there was no unacceptable actions by their agents. The Haitian community in Bexar County heartbroken over the images coming from Del Rio. Haitians have been coming to the U.S. for several years. Some in the Del Rio camp say they are leaving because of a political crisis in their home country,
while others cite a recent earthquake for their reason as for leaving. The Night Team's Patty Santos spoke with a woman who left Haiti after the devastating earthquake there back in 2010.
It's painful and it's hurting me because I'm Haitian, they are my people.
Osanka Derry is overwhelmed with emotions as she watches migrants from her native country striving for a better life, camping out for days at the border seeking asylum.
They're looking for something to breathe. So this is what's happening. So they're looking to, to work and to eat, to help their families.
Haitian families left struggling from a massive earthquake 11 years ago that killed more than 250,000 people, and another 7.2 earthquake that claimed more than 2,200 lives in August. Not to mention the political upheaval following the assassination of the country's president in July. It's prompted families to take a dangerous and expensive journey seeking asylum.
They have to take a plane, they have to take bus, they have to walk into the forest, they have water. Some of them died, and some of them lost family members along the trip.
Immigration attorney Lance Curtright says the pandemic is complicating a lawful process that might otherwise have offered asylum to migrants.
So many of these individuals are coming here hoping to make their case, and maybe some of their cases are stronger than others, but that is being frustrated in contravention of our asylum laws.
Dari says the Haitian community in San Antonio is meeting and trying to provide food, aid, and assistance to those who are granted asylum and pass through Bexar County on their journey to a better place.
As we say in Haitian Creole, "Mais ensemble chai palou." What does that mean? So when we put our hands together, nothing is heavy.
And she asked that everyone open up their hearts and their ears to listen to the stories of these migrants who are struggling. And if you do feel compelled to give, we have information on how you can do that on KSAT.com. Steve?
Thank you, Patty. Tomorrow, Governor Greg Abbott set to hold a press conference in Del Rio where thousands of migrants continue to try and seek asylum. That conference expected to happen around noon. We'll bring you the latest as it develops.
Now to the fight against COVID-19, a critical step today in getting more people vaccinated. Pfizer says it has trial data that shows its vaccine for children as young as 5 years old is safe and effective, but it still needs to clear another hurdle. The FDA and the CDC have yet to review that data. Pfizer's trial involved children 5 years old through 11 years old. We caught up with one San Antonio father during a vaccine clinic today who says he feels confident in the research being done.
The science doesn't lie, and why not exhaust all efforts to keeping everyone safe?
In Pfizer's study, the more than 2,200 young participants were given a smaller dose than adults. The antibody response with that smaller dose was at least as strong as it was in patients 16 to 25 who were given that full adult dose. Pfizer now plans to submit its trial data by the end of the month for review.
Another big story, a cold front coming to San Antonio just as we move into fall this week, but don't grab the heavy jackets just yet.
It was 100 degrees today, right? Meteorologist Adam Caskey tracking the timing of this front. So when could these cooler temperatures get here?
We'll start to notice changes by this time tomorrow. And yes, I mean, it's all relative. It's taking us from 100 back down into the 80s for high temperatures. Current readings now are in the 80s. These will be our high temperatures later on this week during the peak heating of the day. The cold front right now just off to our north. Check out Lubbock. Currently 74 degrees. Amarillo at 68. That's the cold front. It's working its way southward. We'll time it out for you. Talk about showers and thunderstorms with that front and the most noticeable changes coming right up. Steve?
Thank you, Adam. New tonight, what started as a traffic stop leads investigators to a capital murder suspect. The woman arrested after refusing to pull over for police in Castle Hills early Saturday morning. Take a look at this video. Officers flashed their lights as the traffic light turned green. The woman inside continues to drive, does not pull over, runs a red light before moving on to Loop 410, then eventually over to I-10 before making her way into a Castle Hills neighborhood. The whole chase only lasts about 10 minutes before the woman decides to bail out of her moving vehicle. Officers say that's how she was injured. Investigators say they were first given false information, but eventually confirmed her name to be Laisha Garcia. Why was she on the run? Well, the same woman is wanted in a capital murder case out of Dallas County. Officers didn't release many details, only that that case involved the murder of multiple people.
He was just 17. His skeletal remains found in a charred car just 2 days after he was reported missing. It's been 1 year since that disturbing discovery. Tonight, the mother of Sebastian Carpio sharing how another woman's loss has guided her through her difficult journey. The Night Team's Stephanie Gray spoke with both mothers about their unified effort for justice.
He was everything to me, kind, lovable, the light of every room that he entered.
Sebastian Carpio was an ambitious young man, an athlete, classy.
He was always well-groomed from his hair, loafers, very handsome young man.
And with dreams of becoming a mechanical engineer. But days before what would have been his 18th birthday, Sebastian's remains were found in the trunk of a burned, stolen car on Calle Duarte. His mother says he went on a bike ride September 18th and never returned home.
My gut feeling, told me that this is not right. That's not like him.
Ana Maria Carpio had been looking tirelessly for him before she reported him missing that same night. She learned about her son's death 2 days later.
You relive the whole situation every single day, every minute, every second.
Life has been hard for Anna, but she's been leaning on this woman, Kimberly Dean.
I do know what she's going through.
Dean's daughter, Samantha Dean, was a victim's advocate for the Kyle Police Department. In 2015, she was found shot to death in her car at age 29. She was 7 months pregnant.
We did not sign up for this. We didn't ask for this.
The two women call each other warriors as they cope with the violent and unexpected loss of their children.
Out of the tragedy, I say that there's always God's will in finding ways of having to deal with things.
They say they are happy arrests have been made in both cases, but their fight isn't over.
We will never get our babies back, but we will make sure that those individuals get a maximum amount of punishment.
Now, the team responsible for Sebastian's death is charged with murder and is currently here at the Bexar County Juvenile Detention Center. Sebastian's mother says this Saturday they're planning a birthday memorial celebration for what would have been Sebastian's 19th birthday. Stephanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Japhanie. A legal test expected for the new abortion law in Texas. This all coming after a San Antonio doctor admitted to performing an abortion beyond the 6-week mark. Two former attorneys will now force that law to be reviewed with their lawsuits against Dr. Alan Braid. The law restricts abortions to be done before the 6-week mark, before a woman may even know if she's pregnant. It also allows private citizens to enforce the measure through lawsuits and giving them the ability to claim $10,000 if that lawsuit is successful. In one of the lawsuits, Felipe Gomez asked the judge to order the law unconstitutional and claim it violates Roe v. Wade. The lawsuit does not seek any monetary relief in the case.
He has made his mark in San Antonio. SAISD Superintendent Pedro Martinez joined that district in 2015. Now, as he prepares to lead a district of schools in his hometown of Chicago, the team that surrounds him here in San Antonio taking a moment to show their support. Flowers and hugs delivered to Martinez during today's board meeting, along with a special proclamation recognizing his efforts. Martinez thanked the board and the team that shows up to work each day to support SAISD students. Martinez says he is confident he's leaving the district in good hands.
Smoke filled the air, debris littered the ground. A student and instructor injured in a military jet crash in North Texas. Tonight, the Navy providing an update on their treatment.
And the manhunt intensifying for Brian Laundrie. Police wanting to talk to him after a body was found in the search for Gabby Petito. Police anticipating new developments in that case tomorrow. What's expected to play out coming up next on the Nightbeat.
She vanished during a cross-country journey. Her boyfriend returning to Florida without her. Nearly 24 hours after a body was discovered in the search for Gabby Petito, the FBI is intensifying their search for her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. All this as an attorney for the Laundrie family plans a press conference tomorrow. John Lawrence reports it comes after a search warrant was issued.
The FBI moving in, executing a search warrant on the home of Brian Laundrie's parents, which is now considered a crime scene in Northport, Florida, Monday afternoon. Laundrie's parents were then brought back in for questioning afterwards. Federal agents seizing Brian Laundrie's silver Ford Mustang convertible and towing it away from the home. The same silver Mustang police confirmed the Laundrie family retrieved from the Carlton Reserve in Sarasota County, which intensified a manhunt for Laundrie in the vast wildlife reserve. Police say they're now shifting their focus from that location.
I hope they find him alive so they can get answers and what went down.
All of this coming just about 24 hours after a body was discovered during the search for Laundrie's missing fiancée, 22-year-old Gabby Petito, in Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park.
Full forensic identification has not been completed to confirm 100% that we found Gabby, but her family has been notified of this discovery.
An autopsy on the remains is slated for Tuesday, which the coroner says will confirm the identity by photographs, personal ID, and DNA.
My gut tells me that something bad happened. And I'm never going to be able to hold my baby girl again.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Now to an update on that military jet crash in North Texas over the weekend. Naval Air Training Command confirming the instructor pilot is now out of the hospital. The student still being treated at a Dallas hospital. Both ejected from their jet yesterday before then crashing in the town of Lake Worth, northwest of Fort Worth. The student pilot's parachute got caught in power lines, leaving him with severe burns. Tonight he's listed in serious condition. 3 homes were damaged in that crash. The Navy says the training flight took off from Corpus Christi yesterday morning, crashing around 11 in North Texas.
The goal is to further the research surrounding brain cancer. This Saturday, hundreds of runners will help in the effort by raising money for the 8th annual Head for the Cure 5K, both virtually and in person. Brain cancer has affected so many families, including our own here at KSAT 12. Back in 2013, we lost our former news director, Jim Boyle. Jim was not only a great journalist and a great boss, he was also an avid runner. That's one of the many reasons why his daughter, Erin Boyle, helped start this race here in San Antonio. Even after 8 years, Erin knows there's still plenty of work to be done.
I am thrilled to still be a part of it, and I will support this cause as long as I am able physically and mentally and everything. I think it's very important, and it's also it's still pretty underfunded. So it would be great if we could even get more funding and more notoriety. And
there is a discount code if you register before Wednesday. Type in the word CURE in all caps to get $10 off. We have a link to registration on ksat.com/community.
Love that event. So many here at KSAT take part in that every single year.
I will be out there early Saturday doing some announcing, meeting people. So
Do that usually every year.
yeah.
So if you are an avid runner, avid walker, we got some morning changes that sound pretty good coming our way, Adam.
Oh yeah, Meyer, you know, a lot of folks get up early, have that early morning run, bike ride, or just walk the dog, or if you just go to the bus stop with the kids in the morning. The changes are really coming in the days ahead. So let's talk about today. First of all, we tied a record high temperature, making it up to 100. Our record today, of course, 100 set back in 1947. And we will notice a drop in these afternoon temperatures. I mean, look at this, mostly triple digits today. New Braunfels, Gonzales, Honda, Uvalde. Pretty much everybody except the Hill Country hit 100, even if just briefly today. That's one thing that's going to change. Here's some of the biggest and most noticeable factors with this cold front. Let's get right to it. It's not going to be the strongest front, not the kind that forces you to, get out the hot cocoa and sweaters or parkas, but compared to 100 degrees, we're going to see our afternoon temperatures drop down into the 80s. By Wednesday. Morning temperatures, I think, are going to be even more noticeable. That's going to be one of the primary changes. Morning temperatures from the 70s down into the 50s in just a few days. And dew points are also going to take a huge hit. Dew points right now, 60s and 70s. It is sticky and muggy outside. It'll still be that way tomorrow. Okay, the cold front doesn't hit until tomorrow afternoon. Takes several hours for the changes to really take place. But by Wednesday, all the way into this upcoming weekend, that humidity swept away, and it's a prolonged period with a lack of humidity and lack of mugginess. So the temperatures we have right now at this hour, 10:19 p.m., are going to be closer to the afternoon highs for the day by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So Carrizo Springs still at 90 degrees. Hondo, though, 86, 79 Kerrville, 85 in New Braunfels. Cotulla now 91. We talked about this earlier, though. You see it in the Panhandle. Lubbock, 74. Amarillo, 68. Guyman, Oklahoma, 67. That's the cooler air behind the front. So no, this isn't a hard-hitting fall front that is going to feel chilly and one of those shivering fronts, but this is still a noticeable change and a drop. The cooler air behind it up the plains in the 50s right now. We have had some severe weather along it on the north side of this front throughout the day today. The southern extent of the front, not a whole lot of activity, but I am expecting some thunderstorms to develop tomorrow afternoon. In the morning and midday, Edwards Plateau, Hill Country, a few hit or miss light showers. We get into the afternoon, we'll have some instability here and that mugginess, some fuel for showers and storms. And we expect a few of them to pop up during the afternoon and early evening. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. being the primary time frame roughly in and around San Antonio for the potential downpours. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have one or two stronger storms developing as well. Coverage, though, will only be about 30 to 40% of our area of south and central Texas. 76 in the morning, 95 the high, not much of a breeze until we get into the afternoon and evening. Then it becomes gusty with the north wind at 10 to 20. Temperatures falling off quickly tomorrow evening. And by Wednesday morning, we're looking at 63. Thursday morning, 57. Friday again will be in the 50s and Saturday near 60 to start the day. Nothing but sunshine the remainder of the week then and into the weekend with temperatures lower than what we've had.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
Nice. All right. The Texans quarterback of the future becomes the quarterback of the present, Greg.
Yeah, and remember their head coach David Culley was telling us at 5, he's day-to-day as far as Tyrod Taylor is concerned following his injury in their latest game. It's more like it's going to be week to week now. When we come back, it's Taylor out and Mills is in. That's right. They're going with a rookie what could be 4 more weeks. And the big game on our big game coverage this Friday night.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Houston Texans could be without their starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor for a month after he suffered a hamstring injury in the Texans' first loss of the season against the Browns in Cleveland. Happened on this play when Taylor pulled up lame on a 15-yard touchdown run that tied the game at 14-all. He will continue until the end of the first half when he was replaced by rookie Davis Mills. Mills was able to find Brandon Cooks with this touchdown to get the Texans within 3 points in the fourth quarter. But that's as close as they would get in the 31-21 loss. Head coach David Culley has already told us today he will not activate Deshaun Watson in the wake of the loss of Taylor, telling us Mills will be his man on Thursday night against the Panthers. How does his teammates feel about having a rookie as their new starter?
In my opinion, I think he did a great job. Obviously, when you get put in a situation like that, one of the things that you want to show is toughness. He took a couple in the face and bounced right back up. And when you see that from a rookie, you got a lot of respect for him.
Now, one of the reasons why the Dallas Cowboys were able to get their first win on the road was their defense, especially after the Cowboys scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. But after that, never again in the end zone in the 20-17 victory over the Chargers in L.A. On the other side of the ball, the Dallas D only gave up 1 touchdown while coming up with 2 big turnovers, interceptions by Trayvon Diggs and DeMonte Casey. And they did it without 3 key players on the defensive side of the ball: Randy Gregory, Donovan Wilson, and DeMarcus Lawrence.
You got to have depth in the defense. Next somebody go down, next man got to step up, and we expect the same play from them as we do from the starters. So, everyone stepped up, everyone did their job, and we came out with the dub.
Next up, the Cowboys' home opener on Monday Night Football against their NFC East rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Fighting Texas Aggies kickoff play in the SEC when they face the Arkansas Razorbacks this Saturday in Arlington. The 7th-ranked Aggies are coming off a 34-0 shutout against New Mexico in Zach Calzada's first game as the Aggies' new starting quarterback after Haynes King was injured in their close call in Colorado and is now out until November. In his first start, Calzada threw for 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, a warm-up, if you will, for a much tougher opponent in Arkansas, is now ranked 16th in the nation following their 45-10 rout of Georgia Southern. And despite the fact the Aggies have won 9 straight against the Razorbacks, Arkansas is now averaging 41 points a game, and remember, roughed up Texas 40-21 just 2 weeks ago. So is this the toughest Arkansas team Jimbo Fisher has faced?
We've had some battles on some teams they've had. There have been some great games up there, all come down the wires. They've all been very tough, in my opinion. I think this game's a rivalry game, and they do a great job of getting up for it, and they play very hard in it. But this team is playing very well. Their team is very talented. Their team is very seasoned. I mean, very seasoned. And their players and their coach very well, and they're playing very well. And I'm going to say, we're definitely going to have our hands full. We're going to have to play a great football game.
Kickoff between the Aggies and Arkansas and Arlington will be at 2:30 on Saturday. The University of the Incarnate Word quarterback Cameron Ward has been named Southland Conference Player of the Week. That's after Ward threw for a season-high 376 yards and 4 touchdowns on the Cardinals' incredible upset of Texas State in San Marcos on Saturday, 42-34. It's the Cardinals' first ever win over an FBS opponent. The big game and our big game coverage next. The big game and our big game coverage this Friday night is a battle of the unbeatens in District 28-6A. The 4th-ranked Johnson Jaguars in 12's top 12 against the 8th-ranked Brandeis Broncos. Broncos come into this showdown at Hero Stadium 4-0 with wins over O'Connor, Warren, MacArthur, and Clark. Their toughest challenge, overcoming the Cougars 45-35 in their district opener. Before that, they'd only allowed an average of 6.5 points a game. For the Johnson Jaguars, they're also 4-0 with wins against Wagner, O'Connor, Lee, and last week's district opener, MacArthur, where the Jaguars are averaging 44 points a game.
Every game, we've played with great effort and had a great mentality, and we played hard in every game. So I feel confident in my team, and we'll get it done.
I think it will be like a playoff team. Really 2 good teams, undefeated, both going into this game. Play really hard. It's going to be a good game.
They have a great coaching staff, a great team, and we're looking forward to playing them. Both teams are going to fight.
I have a lot of respect. I've grown up with a lot of kids that go over there, and overall, those are a lot of hard workers over there. We've had a great season coming up so far, so if they 2 big teams coming at each other, both sides, it's a lot of big momentum build up from both.
Wish them both luck. Kickoff at Hero Stadium on Friday night at 7 p.m. and KSAT 12 Sports will be there. Richard Torres' season is over. He is the Nebraska commit who plays for the Southside Cardinals, and in their opening game of the season, threw 8 touchdowns. But last Friday night against the Floresville Tigers, Torres suffered a torn anterior cruciate ligament where he was tackled in the 3rd quarter, according to Huskers Online. Torres himself confirmed the season-ending injury today when he tweeted out this morning, I received news my senior season has been cut short. I know God works in mysterious ways, and he has a plan for me. He wouldn't put me up for a challenge I wouldn't be able to overcome. Thank you, Southside. I will always be a Cardinal. My journey is not done yet. This is a minor setback for a major comeback. 15 out. We wish Richard a speedy recovery, and all the support I've been reading about tonight from Husker Nation has been impressive and encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, they really, I would be surprised if anything happens with this scholarship offer right now. They want him in Lincoln.
Sure do.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back.